Do I want to do what?
I'll start it off. No worries.
The recording in progress started at the same time as you were talking.
No worries. I was saying intro. You want to kick off the intros?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kimberly James, and I'm the owner and creative director of Josie May, full service event planning. And my clients pay me to bring their vision to life with custom teas, prompt journals, and craft workshops. I am excited to be here with my lovely co host, Miss Michelle.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Anantua. I am co-founder of Harmony's Divine Design with the lovely T, who's hiding behind her camera right now. At Harmony's Divine Design, we focus on new and seasoned entrepreneurs and helping you guys achieve your goals. So the way we do that is through our one-on-one business coaching, our what else we do, because it's so much, online teaching, and also our products that we create to help you streamline your workflows. So when it comes to the business coaching, it is um, and I will be walking you through how you can achieve your goals. So I know as a small business, and this goes right into our topic of today, with confidence, we can be a little uncertain on what our next steps will be, what that should look like, especially in this entrepreneur space. You know, many of us are entering this realm for the very first time. So we don't know what we're doing. You know, it's kind of a fly by night a type of thing. It's like being a toddler learning to walk again, right? So we have to learn the skill. So in doing the research and preparation for this class, Kim and I really stumbled upon this really interesting question from ChatGPT. So I turned it into a poll, which I'm going to put up now, and I want to know your feedback. So go ahead, take a second, and it says confidence, you're either born with it or you're not. So do you guys agree, disagree? Are you indifferent? Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. So we have everyone in. So for the most part, it looks like everyone disagrees and someone was indifferent. So if you wouldn't mind jumping on the mic, if you wouldn't mind, who was indifferent? Anybody? Oh, you? Ah, okay.
Hey.
All right, T, go ahead. Would you mind sharing?
We are that confidence when we're born with confidence. Because when we start walking as a child, we have to build up that confidence in ourselves to learn how to walk. So when it comes to your business, as you were saying earlier, it's going to be days when you know everything in your store is perfect, but your confidence may not be there at that time. Or you get a bad review and you know you did everything that was supposed to be done, you did. So confidence is either or. That's how I look at it.
Thank you for that. And who would disagree with that statement? Anyone like to jump on in regards to that? All right. So I will actually go ahead. It's fine. I will actually go ahead. With me, I would have to say I'm indifferent as well. You know, I don't believe you're either born with it or you're not. I do believe our confidence over time is something that gets attacked, right? You know, over time, it's just we could have prepared our best version of something and somebody might have gave a negative remark that kind of bumped us a little bit. So confidence, I believe you're born with it. We are all born with it in some degree. And I believe some of us show it a little bit more than others. Martine?
Um, I think I'm on the side of um, I don't think you have to be born with it. What I do think you're born with is a sense of determination or not having determination, like grit or no grit. Like I think there are people. I do think that there are folks who are. I won't say they were born with it, but I think the presence of those elements can determine how far you can go, and could definitely tap into like how confident you are, right? Um, so that's what it made me think about. Like there are people that are in places they have absolutely no place being in, but for some, like how determined they were to reflects why they're where they are doing what they're doing at that time.
Yeah. For me, I'm kind of indifferent. I think I was highly offended when I read the question, and Michelle and I were looking at it. I'm just like, what? I think that in most cases, you probably have it until negativity starts creeping in. So negativity can come from family, it can come from friends, it can come from failure and not being reassured that it's okay not to be perfect. It's okay that you didn't accomplish something. So, I think that every situation that happens in our lives affects how we deal with things and then internalize what's going on with us. So if everything is positive, so the people who are out here who are in positions that they probably shouldn't be in, were probably encouraged and told, oh no, the world is yours. You got this. But then other people who were not, and are probably more capable, weren't nurtured in that way. And that's when the lack of confidence starts coming in.
Gotcha.
Dean, you missed the question. We had a poll, and the question was, you were either born with confidence or not. So do you agree, disagree, or indifferent?
I'm indifferent because if we look up the definition of confidence, it's a feeling or a belief. That's where it starts. That feeling can come from, you look at something and like, I know I can do that. Or it's a belief, but where do you get the belief from? Is it from a mentor? Is it from a parent? Is it from a sibling? Is it from an experience? So there's different things that will develop of confidence. Yes, it sits within us, but at the level that it comes out, depending on the situation, let's use this as an example. As a mother, you do your best to provide for your child. As a parent, let's put it this way: you as a parent, you do your best to provide for your child. If your child's in danger, do you rely on confidence? Your child's in danger. There's no time to check a belief or a feeling. You just go out, and I'm gonna do everything possible to take care of my child is out of danger. Now, flip that over to something else that's not as extreme, but okay. Do you have a confidence to solve a calculus problem? Never done calculus before. You could say, I know math. Calculus should be no different. But if you don't have the tools the foundation from basic math to get to calculus, your confidence is going to be challenged. Or it's going to be decimated because you don't have the tools. So there's a lot of other things that are tied into that word confidence, feeling, or belief. Whenever I hear words like that, I like to go back to the word. And I go back to the Hebrew and the Greek definition and find out what that root is and how it applies, and then how it applies into the word, because we have a tendency as human beings to throw words around and create our own definition as time goes on and lose sight of what it really meant. So when it comes down to that word, I'm not on either side, but I do believe, based on the definition, and I'll read it out loud. Where is it? Confidence is the feeling or belief in one's abilities, qualities, or judgment. It involves trust, certainty, and self-assurance, allowing individuals to face challenges and take actions with a sense of security. So there's so many things in that definition that illustrates what confidence is. Mm-hmm. So again, the feeling or a belief, and you could believe something and not feel it. I'm an entrepreneur. Do you feel you're an entrepreneur? What does an entrepreneur feel like? But if you believe you're an entrepreneur, you're going to act as what you believe that this should look like. In one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. Well, those are three different things. An ability. I have ability to understand math. I have ability to create anything out of whatever's in my pantry and in my refrigerator. I'm a good cook, blah, blah, blah. You know, I have good judgment. I good judgment of people, or, you know, weights, whatever that may be. So there's so many different things. It involves trust, certainty, and self-assurance. So what are you trusting? Again, it goes back to that belief or feeling. Are you trusting your instincts to give you that confidence? Are you trusting something that you were taught? Being involved in martial arts, you are taught certain concepts. Martial arts is not used to go beat up everybody. It's used to, one, form a discipline of how to master your body, your mind, but also how to defend if you are in danger, how to protect your family if they are in danger. So qualities, you know, again, you go to a grocery store and you're making judgment, which is the next one. Is this a fresh fruit or not? Is this good enough to give to my family? So again, that confidence, it can have so many different views on your perspective based on what you are putting a weight on for confidence. Before I go on, there's a Greek definition, right? I can't pronounce the word. I used to know Greek. Please excuse me. But in the Greek word, it means boldness, freedom of speech, or openness. In biblical usage, it's often referred to the ability to speak or act with courage and assurance without fear or hesitation. Well, it's interesting it mentions courage. I've been doing a study on gifts on DDS, and courage is a gift from God. It's inside of us, but it's activated when we have to face a task or a challenge. And it doesn't have to be dangerous. It's uncertainty. And it goes back into the definition, the original definition of confidence. The Hebrew definition refers to trust or reliance, often in God. So, as I said, I try to go back to the word, but the Hebrew definition just told you that your trust is in God. So if you have your trust in God, then your confidence is already assigned to that. If you believe him at his word, then that's where your confidence is. So again, I present those arguments to the word confidence, and that's where I'm going to stand.
I would give it here for Pastor Dean real quick. But you know what, Dean, you really brought up valuable points, because we hear the word confidence, right? And I know for many of us, we can pretty much automatically create a physical image depicting what we think confidence looks like, right? We see the external side. So when you see someone that is, you know, publicly speaking, or they're doing some type of presentation or teaching, or even on a Zoom or something like that, you know, you think the confidence is automatically there because you're seeing the outside. But as Dean was saying, it comes internally. And the main word is trust. Because think about it. If you're a driver, right? Before anybody gave you the keys to any car, you had to learn a new skill. You had to safely be able to pull out of a parking space, go down the street, make a left turn, right turn, know your hazard lights, the whole bit. And I'm pretty sure those first couple of times there was someone with experience guiding you, sitting right next to you, maybe having a little mini heart attack while you're learning, you know. For me, it was my aunt, God bless her. You know, but I'm a good driver now. I'm a good safe driver. But it had to come with repetition. It had to come with me and it makes me think of what Dean stated when he noted martial arts is continuously practicing a skill. Because when it comes to confidence, we build our confidence up. If someone can say something to shatter it, that means there's a weak foundation there somewhere already.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that there's something inside of you that you're uncertain about. There's something inside of you that you may not fully trust yourself. You know, you want to start this business or you want to work on this business and make this business grow. But we have moments where we think of our past failures. So for some of us, it's easier to retreat back to our comfort zone, back to our little part of the world than push forward. So when Dean says having trust in God, you have to have an external belief, whether it's God or the creator, whichever name you care to give. You have to believe that there is something bigger than you to move forward in this space. Because for me personally, I know that my journey is not just for me. Things I've experienced, things I've gone through, it's meant to be shared to the people that are here on this Zoom and the people that will watch this replay. Confidence with me, it has come and gone throughout my life. It's had peak seasons and it's had the ones where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna stay in the corner in the back. I'm gonna mind my business and leave everybody alone. And it's okay. I have learned that both sides of that coin are okay. It's knowing when to pull it back and to exude it. Kim, your thoughts?
I agree. For me, confidence does come in waves. It depends on what I'm working on. And I believe that when you're confident in whatever you're doing, that gives you the ability to do it better and to relay it more effectively. If you're unsure about something, then of course, you know, you're going to have a lack of confidence and you're not going to feel that you are the best person to do something. But I think the more that you do something, the better you get. That definitely helps to increase your confidence.
Sorry, technical difficulties. But yes, absolutely. I agree with you, Kim. Anybody else have anything they would like to add to that? No? Okay. So one thing that
All kinds of Wi-Fi connect.
oh, there you go.
My husband keeps me in the basement.
You and your internet. Oh no, she froze. She froze. Ah. Hopefully Kim will be back and reconnected with Kim. But another thing that we noted in doing our preparation for this class in regards to talking about confidence, we hear what I call the vert terms thrown around a lot. And when I say vert terms, I mean introvert, extrovert, ambivert. So I know a lot of us are very quick to say, I'm an introvert because I don't like the public speaking. I like to be behind the scenes. And I think for some of us, we might actually be borderline. And I think Kim and I found that out ourselves, that we're borderline. And what that looks like is, yes, I'm an introvert, meaning I do like my space, my time. I do like turning into myself, I don't have to be the center of attention, so to speak. And then we also realize, but we're also a bit extrovert. We do like being social. We do like going to events and having a good time, but we're very guarded and monitored on the company that we keep and the places in which we go. So come to find out, we were ambiverts. We used our discernment a lot of times with just the way we navigate through life. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Ken a little bit more.
Okay, so they're different. The three different verts: the introvert, ambivert, and then the extrovert. So there are pros and cons for each one. For an introvert, they're typically
Cliffhanger.
Oh no. Is she frozen like the most awkward way? Okay. Oh, hopefully she can reconnect. There we go. She's back.
Kim.
Kim. Yes. Yes.
3 words.
Uh-huh.
Wireless access point. Best Buy.
I'm gonna have to go in the guest room because this is ridiculous. Today has been crazy.
Don't worry, okay. I'll edit the freeze out. It's fine.
Technology. Okay, what was the last thing that you guys heard me say?
Hi, my name is Kim.
Well, the last thing we heard you say was Bert.
Bert? Oh my God. Okay.
So you might want to take it from the
Yeah, I was talking, I was rambling. Okay, so there's the 3 different verts: the introvert, the ambivert, and then there's the extrovert. So there are pros and cons for each one of those. For an introvert, they're typically deep thinkers, good listeners, focused and independent. But then the con part of that is it's challenging for them to network. They don't communicate well, and they get drained really easy with social settings. And as an entrepreneur, it's really difficult to be an introvert because you need to, tell people about your business. If you can't effectively tell people about your business, it's not going to grow as fast as it could. An ambivert, they're adaptable. They're balanced communicators. They're versatile in networking, flexible problem solving. But the cons are indecisiveness, which is not good for your business. Energy management struggles. So they have a difficult time with managing their energy levels. And then they may have a lack of strengths. For an extrovert, they're strong networkers, fast decision makers, energized by socializing and charismatic leaders. The cons are they're over reliant on social interactions. So they depend on other people's energy in order to get through things. They don't really listen to challenges. They're impatient and they're risk takers. So there are pros and cons for each vert. And we came up with, a Q&A session. Want to do that? The self-assessment quiz? So we came up with 10 different questions to identify if you are an introvert, ambivert, and extrovert. And this is what helped Michelle and I identify, because we both thought that we were introverts. I'm like, I'm good. Good in the basement. I'm fine. I don't need interactions. But then we realize that actually we do like interaction, but it's with certain people. It's like-minded people. We're good. We enjoy those conversations. And we do like talking about our business to a certain point. So that, we were kind of borderline. So the first question is, when networking at a business event, what is your approach? If you guys can put your answers in the comments. I prefer deep one-on-one conversations with a few people. B, I enjoy both small talk with new people and deep conversations when appropriate. And C, I thrive on large group settings and love meeting as many people as possible.
Repeat the first two again.
Sure. I prefer deep one-on-one conversations with a few people. That's A. B, I enjoy both small talk with new people and deep conversations when appropriate. And C, I thrive on large group settings and love meeting as many people as possible.
I would say for me, it's A.
I'm A.
Usually when I'm at events, I will socialize, but I really look for the people that I can have those conversations with on a deeper level than just the business or whatever the event is for. Because to me, it's about the connection.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there are some social butterflies that can just go all around the room, and like me and my mom used to tease my father, he can make a pigeon talk. Like he was one of those people. He had a conversation for everybody.
That's pretty cool.
So,
I'll write that one down.
You're more than welcome to it. But that was just his personality. Now, when you would first meet him, you wouldn't get that from him. Mm-hmm. But in a social situation, he was a butterfly. But yeah, I'll stick with A. How about you, Kim?
I'm definitely an A. It's the one-on-ones. I get really, it's overwhelming for me in large crowds. I've attended a couple of conferences recently, and the first one, I was just like a deer in headlights because there were so many people. It was a conference for African-American entrepreneurs. It was an awesome event. It was for 3 days, but I didn't make connections with anybody. Because one, it was overwhelming, and two, it was overwhelming. So when I went back for the second one, I was more comfortable. I definitely, I talked a little bit more. I reached out to people. I've got some phone numbers, but if I hadn't have gone the first time, I never would have made the connections the second time. For me, it's that I had to figure out my groove, and my groove was, watching the room, and because I watch more than I talk. So that's, I'm definitely, I found a couple people that I recognize from the calls, and that's how I made my connections, my in-person connections anyway.
And you know what? And you said something really important there. It's finding your lane. A lot of times when we go to those really big social networking events and things like that, it is overwhelming. There's hundreds of people, if you're not partnered with somebody there, you don't have anyone to really talk to. So you have to kind of find your lane. And when you're brand new in a space, it can feel unnerving. You don't know how people are going to respond. You don't know what type of energy is flowing in that room or the environment. So like you said, when you visited it again, there goes that consistency of keeping with it. It definitely helped and changed your perspective. Lena, you said A2. Would you like to talk about that? Are you hiding in the back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
What was the answer again? I'm sorry. I'm on lunch.
I prefer deep one-on-one conversations with a few people.
Yeah, so I prefer deep one-on-one conversations with one person at a time. So I don't really like to do the small talk too much. Like, yeah, when you first meet someone, right? You do the small talk thing, but if I'm having that small talk thing with you every single day, for me, it starts to get like, okay, can we talk about something else? Um, I'm definitely an introvert. Like what Kim just said, she went to a conference. I can go somewhere new and it can feel awkward, and I would be perfectly fine if I didn't speak to anyone while I was there all day. And it's not like in an antisocial way, it's just more of a protect my energy kind of way, because I'm very big on energies as well. So I'm not the type of person to go up to strangers and make conversation. That's never been me. And I now have a 4-year-old who loves to do that. So please pray for me because that's going to be a struggle. Um, uh, so yeah, I'm definitely not like in between. I'm a hardcore introvert. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I like people. Don't get me wrong. I can socialize, but there comes a point during that setting that I'm like, okay, it's time to go. It was fun. See you guys later, type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Now, is there anyone in the room on the opposite side of that? Who in here is the social butterfly that, they go into an environment and they can spark up a conversation anywhere? Is there anyone in here like that?
People think I am.
Listen, you're gonna talk,
You
or
know
should
what?
we call
We've been
you
talking
out?
about this whole thing about confidence, and here's what I will say.
Mhm.
As a young person, as a teenager, I was definitely that way. My family was military. My father served in the Navy for 13 years, and so if you didn't get out there and get in them streets, this is pre cell phones, pre everything, right? So if you didn't get out there and get to know people, then you was gonna be living in isolation or being stuck with your siblings, which is never fun. And so I would say, my mother also says that I was very, very personable, always, hi everybody. That I was Lena's kid. That was me, for sure. But I will say when we moved to Louisiana, it shifted. And there were definitely other preteens and teenagers that were very, very irritated with and would vocalize their irritation with my ability to like be full of life or to talk to people, connect with people. They vocalized it. And I think every year after that, so it was about 13, 14, I got quieter and quieter and quieter. And by junior year in high school, I was pretty much quiet. And it took a lot of time getting older to realize that it didn't matter if people were going to try to silence me because I just can't be silenced. But it took a long, long time. So I'll say I'm an extrovert, introvert, extrovert, and I can turn it on when I need to. But I hate social network. I hate them with all of my things and my soul. This past year, I have a coworker. We went to a major conference, and she worked hard to get me to give them that $100 so we can go to the networking event. And I was like, ma'am, nobody wants to talk to me. And I don't want to talk to them. But I suffered through it. It was fine.
Well, Martine, I will say this. I am glad that your voice is out and loud, fellow coach. Well, coach of coaches, Miss
Coach
Man.
of coaches.
Yes. So if it wasn't for you finding your voice and bringing it back out, me and Kimberly wouldn't be here. So
Yes. Thank you, Miss Martine.
thank you. See?
I hear all that. I hear all that, but it wasn't easy. I hear what you're saying.
I'm sure.
It was not easy. Well, and the catch is, I taught for 10 years and I worked with adults additional. So that's 18 years. So I just learned to fake the funk for a long time, be able to, engage in that way. And then I would say the last couple of years, I actually pulled away from all of that, especially with COVID. I was able to self-isolate. So this is like a rebirth in this last year of like, yes, you can authentically connect with people, and it's okay. It ain't gonna be at this networking event, but you can do it though. You can absolutely do it.
That's like I was saying, it take a lot of experiences that we have can change who we are and how we operate. I know there've been a lot of, not necessarily negative, but not necessarily reinforcing, failures. So as you get older, you have to realize that, what those failures taught me, a lesson. But in the midst of them, it didn't feel like you were learning a lesson. It just felt like it was a failure. And if there was no one there to validate and let you know that, hey, it's okay, failures come, but there's always a lesson to be learned within there. You can feel like you're weighed down. And I know for me, it I started getting my voice in my 40s. It was like, wait a minute, I'm this chick. So you develop it over time. I'm that chick to myself. I don't need to tell everybody else. So, and I'm comfortable with that, but it also makes me comfortable in who I am and the skin that I'm in. And that took time. It definitely took time.
Absolutely. T, you had your hand up?
So what happens when you are the extrovert? But it seems like you have a whole lot on you that everybody wants to come and talk to you. So what do you do then? You hear me?
Say that again. When you're an introvert, but everyone is attracted to you.
Yeah, when you're an extrovert, when it's like be by yourself, everybody wants to come and talk to you. It's like a whole
I
lot.
can hear her very well.
Here I come.
I think, you know what, honestly, it also depends on the energy that you exude, as a person overall. Many times we don't realize we wear what we feel, right? So if we're having a rough day, if we're having a rough even moment in our lives, we put the mask on. Like Martine said, she faked the funk for a long time. But even though we're able to fake the funk for a long time, that still doesn't stop what we feel on the inside. So, people could be sitting out here giving you all the praises in the world and want all your attention and everything like that. But if your personal space, if you're not there, you can't deliver. And it's okay. It's okay to say, listen, not today. And we have to be confident, number one, in creating those boundaries. Again, that's taking that moment to look inside, right? To identify what it is you like, what you don't like. And not only being able to identify it, but creating a boundary for it, where it's one that you will honor for yourself. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. When you create a boundary for yourself and you honor it yourself, people around you have no other choice but to honor. Because that's how you carry yourself. That's how you portray yourself. That's now how you move. So when it comes to people being attracted to your light, it's going to come whether you wanted to or not. I know there's been a plenty of times in my own, I could be walking down the street minding my business and somebody wants to tell me their life story. Sir, ma'am, I'm just trying to get to the store. But it's so great, and it's happened to me multiple times. Be like, you know what, God, I just needed to talk to you. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you have a blessed day. I hope everything's okay. But in my head, I did not want to engage. But obviously, God's showing something on the outside that said, you know what, go talk to her for a minute. I need her for 5 minutes. You need to hear her for 2. I may not ever understand what that is, but sometimes those little moments I talked back and forth with T how before I started teaching, my very first class, I was nervous. And I had reached out to Misha. And she's as you know, Miss Misha Bazemore, she's a busy woman, right? She gave me 49 seconds of voice audio. 49 seconds of taking time and breathing life into me, telling me I got it, go ahead, go for it, the whole thing. And I went ahead, the nerves settled, and I taught my first class. But it was just sometimes we do need to hear that reassurance that, you know what, you're doing a good job. And one thing that I've learned, we look for it so much externally that we need to start saying it to ourselves. Mm-hmm. When we created a project, you know what, you did a good job. You really met that deadline before the deadline. You even got time to take a nap. Like, start talking to yourself in a positive way, because when you start changing the conversation with yourself, that little voice in your head starts changing. So when those moments of, girl, you know you can't do that, and you've been talking to yourself positively, like we hear personality number 4 going to come out talking about, you need to go over there and sit down, because we're not listening to that today. We about our business and we want to handle it. And we have to be okay with checking in on ourselves, taking moments to do that. Because in order for any type of confidence to show, it starts with trust. Trusting the Almighty and trusting yourself. And is it easy? Absolutely not. I would not sit here and lie to you. It is not. I have days myself where I'll be like, yeah, I don't know about that. I'm uncertain about that. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But then I take a step back, I assess the situation, and either it's going to be a yay or a nay. And if I choose yay, full steam ahead. Nay, okay, I'm going to sit you on a shelf over here. Maybe I might have to come back to you. And I'm okay with it. So, that's my spiel. Yeah.
For me, you know, I realize that the negative thoughts that I hear are not from God. There is nothing in his word that speaks negativity into my life. So I often have to remind myself that, of whose I am.
Oh no, not for freezing.
That's all right. I'll finish it for her, because when he reminds her who she is, then she's able to ground herself in it. And because she's grounded, there she goes. She's back. See, we're just gonna pick right up.
Martine, I love you. Go ahead, Kim. Did she freeze again? She froze again. Okay.
They have to message her and have her turn her camera off to keep the freezing down.
Yeah. All right. You back? You back.
Yeah.
That's okay. I filled it in for you. You did. I filled it in. I knew where you were going. I filled it right on in for you. Because you filled in the blanks. I filled in the blanks. So.
Oh, thank you. I don't even know where it dropped off. So.
Hi, my name is Kim.
But you were just talking about dealing with the lie, and knowing that it's not truth, and understanding like who you actually.
Yeah, whose I am. Yeah, and another thing that I do, I like to do a reset. I do a mindset reset, and it is I wear a rubber band whenever there's something new that I'm working on, and I
flick my wrist to reset because the pain helps me understand who I need to be at that moment. She said that once before.
Yes, and that is true. And that's actually a technique to
I also
use.
do it too.
That's a very good idea.
It helps. It definitely, because it gets your mind off of it in an instant. So using a rubber band either on your wrist, I know when I first started talking in public, it would be the pen. I would keep something small in my hand just to get that energy out. But Kim, go ahead.
Rubber band reset. I don't know what.
Oh no!
Turn your camera off, Kim. Turn your camera off. Turn your camera off.
Yeah. But you know, sometimes we need those little steps and techniques to help us reset, help us gather ourselves, you know, when we're in situations that we're uncertain about, whether it's a good uncertain or a fearful. We have to take that time to come back to center. So I know Kim is having some connection issues. But before we wrap up, I just wanted to go over a few ways that you can start working on instilling that confident, quote unquote, that trusting mindset. So the first is embrace a growth mindset. The big thing is knowing that we are all continuous students. No, you can be 98 or 8 months old. You're constantly learning something new about yourself, about your surroundings, about even a typical habit that you do from day to day. Embrace the fact that you're going to continue to learn. There is no such thing as a perfect formula when it comes to this. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey, you know, some excel faster than others, and it's okay. Just enjoy the flow of it. Because the challenges that you have today won't be the challenges you have tomorrow. Because you will find a way to overcome whatever that obstacle is. Another one is practice positive self-talk. So again, that's telling that negative side of us, 9 times out of 10, other people's opinions that we absorbed as our own, that's telling those thoughts to be quiet. And if you have to get a little indignant with them, get indignant with them, and it's okay. You know, but start feeding love into yourself. Start nurturing yourself and giving yourself grace. And what does grace look like? Instead of for having a to-do list of about 30 different things, cut it down to maybe about 3 things that you are definitely able to action on in a day. The remainder will still be there. But to know that you took action, you set a goal and you achieved it, that right there is a confidence booster. It releases that dopamine feeling. Acknowledge your strengths. We are not good at everything. We're not. Some of us are better at the technical aspect of things. Some of us, the administrative. Some of us, customer service. We're people, you know, people persons. Acknowledge your strength and nurture it. The last is set achievable micro goals. So that pretty much ties into that positive self-talk. And I noted it before. It's okay to not have on your superhero cape all the time. It's okay to put it in dry cleaning and relax and breathe. So those are my 4 key ways for instilling confidence and how you can start practicing it. And Kim, before we wrap up, I know you have a goodie. And Martine was saying to help with the freezing, it might be better to turn the camera off so it's not pulling so much. But it's all you. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, we have a little freebie for you guys. This is a midweek mindset 7-day confidence journal for entrepreneurs. It has a self-assessment quiz. So in case you're not sure which vert you are, there's 10 questions in here. And at the end, you can rate to check which one you are. There is a goal plan for the week, as well as daily affirmations and 7 days of affirmations, as well as action steps to help you kind of get on track for your goals. So I will copy the link and toss it in the chat.
Thanks, Kim.
No problem.
I can't wait to start working in it.
Thank you. It's gorgeous, by the way. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I thank you guys so much for sharing your afternoon with us. Did anybody have any questions or remarks before we wrap up?
Take the second link. The first one's not going to work. Yeah, the first one was just me.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
My name is Tanya Dean, and I'm Kimberly's sister. And I just wanted to say it was a pleasure listening to you ladies, and I'm very encouraged, and I can't wait to continue this journey. So just thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Aw, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Martine, were you about to hop on? I think she might just have her. Okay.
My bad, John. My bad. I don't know what I got going on. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Well,
Thank you as well. This was
everybody having some type of glitch today, and it's okay. It is perfectly fine. That lets you know we are all having a human experience together. So I thank you all for your time this afternoon. If you didn't get a chance to grab the freebie in the chat, no worries. When the replay is listed, it will be with the replay. So thank you guys. Have a great afternoon and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.